High five, girlfriend. I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hi there. You're watching the Light of Care podcast on YouTube and listening to it on Spotify. This podcast is about our company, FirstLight Home Care of San Francisco and the Peninsula. Our goal is to provide comfort, company, and respite care to elders in need. This podcast aims to educate seniors and their families about the resources and support available to help them live well and age with confidence. I'm your host, Lynn Carteris, and today we're joined by Saili Gosula, owner of Active In-Home Therapy, the premier provider of in-home therapy services across California. Their mission is simple but powerful, to help people regain their strength, confidence, and independence, all from the comfort of their home. Welcome to the show, Saili.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
I always start out with asking about your background and how you got into this.
My background's actually in IT. So I have a master's in computer science. I worked in IT for about 20 years.
Boy, this sounds so familiar. Of all the people we interview, it's just interesting, the trend. Everybody was in IT because they're in Silicon Valley, and now they're in senior care.
Exactly.
Go on.
My last corporate position, I was a director of inventory systems for Gap Inc.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had the systems that if they didn't work, they went to no clothes went to any of the Gap, Old Navy, Banana Republic stores in the world.
Wow.
So it was a big deal, and they acted like it was a really big deal. Mm-hmm. But the importance that was given to getting close to the store on time was really big, And as I was so involved in my community at that point, I felt that the things I was doing in my community were really important, and I really wanted to spend more time doing things that I felt were of service to my community.
Okay.
So I ended up leaving a 20-year career in IT in search of purpose. Somebody came to me after one of the meetings and said, hey, everybody around here at that time, I was also the chairman of the board of the San Mateo Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, okay.
And he's everybody, I'm looking for a buyer for my company. Can I come to your office and pick your brain? And he came to my office, and what he was doing was the in-home physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy.
Interesting, okay.
And because I am a very active person, I am a amateur athlete, so I have always encouraged my seniors to stay active. Mm-hmm. We can go for walks, we can do exercises that have been prescribed to you by a physical therapist. And if you're feeling like you're stuck and you can't do things, why don't you see if your doctor will prescribe more physical therapy? Mm-hmm. Because what I would see is I would have somebody who was always hunched over, and just like they would talk to your feet, right? And then they would go to the doctor for a knee, a hip, or something. They would come back standing up straight. So it wasn't even what they went in for, but they would kind of look at the whole body and bring them back, and they would look at me straight in my eye, and they'd be so proud and feel so much stronger. So I really, really believed in the power of physical therapy back then. So when Carl was telling me that he wanted a buyer for this company, I felt that this was so complementary to what I was doing already. So I ended up buying his company.
Explain to us what makes in-home therapy different from a clinical-based therapy, and why is it often a better fit?
A lot of times is you are getting one-on-one attention with the same person every time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right. And
we know how that is in our business. As you know,
exactly.
People want continuity.
They want that, but our visits are also significantly longer than either at a clinic or insurance provides at home. We do 15-minute private visits.
Interesting.
You can get so much therapy done in that time.
I know.
Which they're not getting any other way. And we can involve the family in decisions and goal setting. And a lot of times the seniors have a fear of leaving their house and going to an appointment someplace. If they're worried about balance, about things like that, moving to your living room to the therapy is very easy. Thinking about getting ready, leaving the house, getting in a car, getting someplace, where am I going to park, how am I going, is the elevator going to be broken?
Right.
No, all that anxiety keeps people from actually being compliant with their plan of care.
So interesting. Yeah. On that note, other than mobility, what other parts of someone's life does this help? While they're able to do it at home, and then explain what you actually offer, what your services are.
A lot of it is balance. Balance is, why people fall a lot of the times. Mm-hmm. So we have physical therapists that can help with strength and and balance and mobility. We also have occupational therapists who will look at ADLs, which you guys help with.
Yes.
Which will look at what is it that you want to do in your house. Do we need to move things around? Do we need to change things? And how can we train you to be able to do what you want to do?
And you assess all that for them.
Yes.
So they're not in a guessing game situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we will have PT and OT both
at the same time.
Yeah. And sometimes they only want us to come in once. Can you come to my house, look at how everything's set up? Can you suggest how things need to be changed? And we can do that one-time visit if necessary.
A lot of seniors struggle to stay active after they leave a rehab.
Right.
So how do you and your team help them maintain that progress once they're home?
So we can provide continuity because that momentum does get lost. But we can also say, what are your goals? What do you want to be able to do? And work very specifically with the family.
So you set a plan with them. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes,
yeah.
With the family.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And come up with goals. Those goals can change based on reality or getting to a goal too fast.
How do you build your team and how many therapists do you have on staff?
So we have about 105 therapists on staff.
Wow.
Yeah, we are in 26 counties in California.
Wow.
When I bought the company, we were in 3.
God, high five, girlfriend. I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Even though it's called physical therapy, it's not always physical.
Oh, no.
So it feels like you probably give a lot of motivational support, emotional support, and I would guess that some people are fearful to get started.
Absolutely.
How do your people approach that?
So we do want the family to be there if possible at first, because that fear, it's a stranger coming to the house, right? So it's nice to have the family there to come to an agreement on it. But a lot of the fear isn't necessarily of having somebody in the house, is of moving.
Right.
It's an older person feels, if I fall, I may never recover.
That's right.
And they don't know.
How do you think we have a business?
Right. And they don't know what is it that they can do that's safe for them to do. Mm-hmm. They don't know how far they can stretch before it's too far. Right. And I have a personal story. My own son, you've met Gabe, 6'5", has broken both his collarbones. And that the second time he was in my office walking around like his arm, like he was made of glass, right? And then he went to his very first outpatient physical therapy, but it was physical therapy, one visit where they said, oh, you don't have to be afraid of that. And they showed him all that he could do, came back a different man, one visit.
Wow.
Right? So I'm like, that is what a physical therapist does for you. They know what they're doing. Then that fear of, I'm not supposed to do this, is taken away when somebody who knows what they're doing says, no, you should be able to do this. We will work towards this. You're safe.
How would you explain why proactive therapy is just as important as therapy after you have fallen or injured yourself?
I think balance is huge. Yeah. You want to keep yourself from falling. What is it that you need to strengthen so that doesn't fall? Like that doesn't happen. You don't hurt yourself, and then everything is harder after that. That is huge. And people have just the questions like, what would you like to be able to do that you can't do anymore? What would you like to regain? Yeah. Right? And if that is something that's feasible, even if it's a slow progress towards that, we can work towards that and give them back part of their life that they thought they'd lost forever.
Okay, what do you find most rewarding about helping people regain and maintain?
This kind of stuff, like they thought they were never going to have it again, and we give it to them, and they're able to do it. And as much as like somebody is bedridden and that's where they were left, and we're able to get them back to work. Huge. I have therapists that will call me and say, Saili, she stood up today. Like they're so excited. They're excited, and I get to hear it, something that they didn't know they were ever going to be able to do again.
How can people find you?
You can go to our website. It's www.activeinhometherapy.com, no dashes. And there is a form, Get Started, on there. And you can just fill it in. And we call back definitely within 24 hours. But sometimes within the same hour.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And we've got more interviews on the way. For now, a huge thank you to all my team involved in making this happen. For more information, check out our website at thepeninsula.firstlighthomecare.com and follow us on our social media pages. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.